My name's Carol Strickman, and I'm here to show you how to fit a bicycle helmet for a child. Thanks very much to you folks who have offered to drive bikes and helmets around to kids this holiday season. I'm here to give you an idea of how to fit a helmet for a child. Now, who am I? I'm a retired LSPC attorney. And the reason I know about helmet fitting is because my husband worked in several bike shops and he showed me how. So I have coordinated the helmet fitting for the Community Giveback for close to 10 years now. So helmets are a safety issue, we all know that. We love the kids, we don't want them to get hurt, and that's where we're coming from. Now, what I've noticed sometimes at the Giveback is parents may be in a hurry and they say, just give me a helmet, I'll take it at home. I'll figure it out at home or something like that. And I gently push back on that, and that's my suggestion to you. It can take a little time. Sometimes it's simple and straightforward, but it can take a little time. It can be a little tricky. And so I think generally it's better if you show them how to do it rather than just give them the helmet and let them figure it out on their own. And also sometimes the kids may be impatient. Usually not. Usually the families and kids are great and very cooperative, but occasionally you run into somebody who's kind of antsy to get on the bike, and I'd say, well, you can't get on the bike until you get your helmet or something. And this is just part of the service that we're offering. And so you want to bring a good attitude toward it, but try to be strong about this is something that we're here to do. Now, because of COVID, there are certain protocols, and normally when we're doing this, I'm on my knees face to face with these kids. Our noses are practically touching while I'm trying to adjust the helmet, and obviously we can't do that. So what I think we should do here is the parent or family member who's with the child should be the one who's actually doing the fitting. And you can stand, you're 6 feet back with your mask on and tell them how to do it. So you don't directly have to do the fitting yourself. Now, of course, it's best to do it outside. And I think you'll be probably fitting the bicycle itself outside, and hopefully it's not raining, or if you're somewhere underneath an eave, but you want to be outside, not inside. It could be done inside, but much better to keep the airflow, and so do it outside. If you're inside, obviously you want windows open, and you don't want to take too long inside. But you should be in a mask. Everybody should be in a mask because you're not in their bubble. You want to use, I think you'll be given sanitizer. When you're touching the helmets, you want to use sanitizer. And if a child tries one on and it doesn't fit or it's not correct, then just sanitize that. You'll reuse it, but sanitize it as well. So that's our protocols for this. So first, I'm going to sanitize my hands before I start opening these helmets. They generally will be coming in a plastic bag like this. What we have is we have a range of sizes. The smallest is toddler. There's also something called small, which right now I don't have any samples of. Then there's medium, large, and extra large. Some kids are extra large. And most of the ones that we currently have in stock are these that you'll see here, the medium and the large in black with holes, or there's this other design as well. And I don't know, there's going to be more helmets coming in, and I don't know what they'll look like, but the first thing when you're trying to figure out what helmet for a child is, you're going to go by size. And it's kind of obvious, but size is not the same thing as age. And so just because a child is small, you've seen very small kids with big heads, and older people like myself with a smaller head. So you have to sort of eyeball their head, and over time you'll start to get a sense of what size this head is. And you could also ask the family if they have a thought. But let's see. In terms of color, there's often not a lot of color choice. We do, once we determine size, then we give the kids their color choice. So you'll notice that you may have more than one model of something that's called large or medium, and they may not be standard sizes exactly, they might be the same as each other. So, so when you're fooling around trying to figure out what size, continue within your the size that you start with if there's another one with the same label but a different style. Okay, so so now I'm gonna ask my friend Noah to come over, and we're gonna do a demonstration. So I'm gonna look at his head and say, I don't know, maybe he's a medium, maybe he's a large. I'm gonna try. I'll start with the medium, and here's medium. So this particular helmet, all right, we're gonna put it on and see what happens. This seems too tight. What do you think?
I think it's too tight.
Too tight. Okay. Now, I can see that, let me just, while I'm looking at this one, this particular kind of helmet has a couple of features I want to point out. One of them is, and a number of them have Velcro padding. So I'm going to pull this out. This is padding that's inside, and it's shaped like a flower because it's trying to keep the air holes open. And they give us a smaller one that's not as thick as this one. This one is thick. So if I thought that maybe by changing this piece it might fit, I would make that change. The other thing is, it's got an adjustment, which is this knob, and this is expanding how much room there is. So I'm going to make that adjustment now and see what we can do. So what's that?
It's still too tight on the sides.
Still snug, tight on the sides. Okay, now let's see. This one, the piece on the side is not adjustable. There is a piece in the front, but that's not adjustable either. Okay, so we have eliminated this one for Noah. Let's go to large. Well, one thing that's handy, they tell you, some of them have a little sign front. It wasn't always obvious to me which was front and which was back. Yeah, this is the same model. Okay. That feels better, huh?
It's not on.
What's that?
It's not on.
It's
push
not.
it. Yeah, I think it's too tight in the back.
Too tight in the back. Okay, well let's open this. Yeah. All right.
That's better.
That's better. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to point out is when you're positioning it, you want to make sure that this front part is kind of in the middle of the forehead, and that this is going back kind of parallel or horizontal to the ground. Sometimes you see people wearing helmets like this. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be more like this. Okay. So I think, how does it fit?
It's good.
It's good. Okay. So, do you think that it's too snug at the top?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can feel at the top, but it's not too tight.
Okay, great. So we don't need to adjust and go to the smaller one. But as you get older and your head gets bigger, you can tell the families that you can take out that top piece and put in this thinner one. All right. So now the tricky part is the adjusting of the strap. You can see these straps have a V shape. And so I'm going to demonstrate with my fingers. What you want is the earlobe to be at the base of the V. And you want one of the parts on the cheek and the other part kind of behind the ear. They're kind of around the ears. So as I was taught, you don't want it like this, you don't want it like this, you don't want it on top of the ear, you don't want any of that. You want it just like this and up close enough. You don't want it down here either. So that is the big trick. fitting a helmet properly. So when I look at this, well, it's almost right. I'm pinching his ear, so I got to make it longer, and I'm just gonna open the straps. Now that's pretty good. But now what I've done is pulled it, so now you can see that's the way we want it. Now I'm gonna try the other side, see what's going on, and same problem. And sometimes you have to fiddle with them. You have to make one of them side longer and one side shorter, which you can do. Okay, so that seems good. Now what I've found sometimes is I'll get one ear good, and I come back to the other one, and I've moved things around, and I've knocked it off, which is what I've done here. So now I got to go back to this one, make it a little longer. Okay. Now that looks like this part's too long. So I'm going behind the strap. All right, I like that. I like that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So that's the ear part. That's the trickiest. And now we have the chin part. And these have to clasp. But now this, you want it snug, but not too tight. So I say it's like Goldilocks. Not too tight, not too loose. You want it just right. And this is one that is sometimes difficult to do because you find yourself pinching the kids, which is not good. Let's see. And now I have to figure out how to make this longer. Okay, now I'm going to try this. Okay. Does that seem too tight?
No.
It seems good?
Snug.
Okay. Now for the test. Here's my test. Okay, Noah, follow me.
Okay.
Do this. Okay. Do this. Okay, now I'm supposed to be watching, and I'm looking to see if it's jiggling around, and it's not. Though. So I think we have a fit. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think we do.
Okay, there we go. Now this one, and I know we have a fair number of these. These have these, I don't know what you call them, longer lines, not circles. This one does not have that dial, and instead it has this, which I've often not been sure what to do. It's not mission critical for the fitting. Let's see what happens with this. Okay, yeah, not sure why, but which side? We're still on large. Or almost right. I'm not going to go the whole 9 yards with it, but does that seem about the same? Mm-hmm. It has about the same feel. Okay, good to know. So in this instance, we might say to Noah, well, we see that you're a large, and which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the one in this one with the dots, or which style do you prefer? And then you could say, because at that point we don't care. You may find that that you put it on, and in this case, it was almost perfect to begin with. It was pretty easy. Sometimes it's not, for whatever reason, and it takes a while. And you may find after you get it all together and you're shaking the head, it's still not right. It's still not right. There's a temptation to say it's close enough. Maybe sometimes it is, but if it doesn't seem right, you should just take the extra time to get it right, so that when the child puts it on and goes off, nobody's going to be worried that it's going to get loose. Because if it's not fitted properly, and the child falls and hits their head, if it slides off funny, they won't have the same safety value. The parent may not want to take the time to learn how to do this and to do this fitting of their child. If that's the case and you can't talk them out of it, if you could say, well, can I come back later, or something along those lines, or this is what I've been told I have to do, or whatever sounds like it might be persuasive to that particular parent. But if there's some people at that time, it may not be a good time. So just always be polite, don't be argumentative. be respectful. And then you can give them, I think there'll be there's a little handout, which will be a video similar to this one, showing how to fit the helmet. So that would be kind of a last resort. Other than that, you want to remind all the parents or family members that, of course, their child should always be wearing a helmet whenever they're on their bike, and they can adjust the straps and whatnot as the child grows, and that if they want to, they can take a look at this helmet fitting video. Other than that, happy holidays and happy riding. Take care.